The Idol, the most controversial HBO series of 2023. With a Rotten Tomatoes score of 25%, it's already been reported there will be no season 2 due to its backlash and controversy, and anyone who saw a single episode of the series will understand why. Romanticizing the R word with literal lines on the show saying he's so, yeah, I kinda like that about him, literally implying if a guy comes across as creepy or if you feel like he might R-word you, then you should find that attractive and like that about him and want to be with him. Does the producers not see how dangerous lines like these can have on an impact on kids who just wanted to watch the show because they were fans of Blackpink Jennie or The Weeknd? The show also having lines stating mental illness is attractive or sexy, or the fact that every 15 minutes someone is either nude or playing with themselves or having intercourse or building tension to commit intercourse is honestly disgusting. Now personally, I thought the premise of the show would be about the dark side of the entertainment industry or like the struggles that pop stars have to go through, but honestly the show felt too unrealistic when touching upon such issues and mostly felt like a Wattpad made by some creep who thinks it's art. It's like we all know being a pop star isn't easy and there's going to be shady things that happen in the entertainment industry, but when the storyline is, and I quote, an inspiring pop star begins a complicated relationship with a self-help guru and the head of a contemporary cult. It's like I'm trying to relate or find sympathy towards pop stars, but name me a pop star that dates a self-help guru that's part of a cult. It's like the story is way too unrealistic for me to even take it seriously. Not to mention The Weeknd being absolutely trashed on Twitter for his role and character in the show. And for anyone saying he's just acting, please remember he created the show with Sam Levinson, so please don't be surprised if the script and character he plays was his idea. Believe it or not, but The Weeknd hated the original script because it was too feminine and therefore got the original female writer fired and hired Sam Levinson, which turned the show from a female-led perspective to a male gaze fantasy. Well, I hope The Weeknd is happy now because I believe this decision single-handedly destroyed the show. Now, when it comes to Jennie, let me make this very, very clear. Jennie does not need the show. This show needs Jennie. I believe the show only has the ratings it has largely because of Jennie and nobody else despite her limited screen time. However, I just don't understand why Jennie would even agree to do something like this. At the end of the day, she's a grown woman and can do whatever she wants, so I don't believe she was forced to be on the show, and I believe she went on the show by her own will. But with that being said, she plays the character Diane and received criticism for putting herself in a position to perform vulgar choreography and lines that are ridiculously beneath her as the it girl of K-pop. Now for context, South Korea is still considered a very conservative country and she is a South Korean pop singer. And the image she has displayed so far on reality shows is a cute girl with aegyo and an innocent image who cries and has a lot of fears, which is the complete opposite image of the role she plays in Blackpink, but reassuring the Korean public it's nothing but a character she plays on stage.
Guys, I just see that.
So it's no wonder a lot of netizens were surprised, disappointed, and felt betrayed when Jennie knew what character she was going to play and still agreed to do so, and put herself in that position. And if anyone wants to say the original writer was a woman and now it's Sam Levinson, I'm pretty sure if Jennie did not like the new role or script, she could have easily pulled out of the show, but she doesn't, and instead praises Sam Levinson and his works, and I quote, "I've been a fan of all his work. We got to meet and talk about the possibilities of me being on the show. And it worked out magically." This honestly sounds like Sam and Jennie both got what they wanted rather than Jennie being forced to do something she doesn't want to do. Now people can have a couple of theories as to why she decided to do this. Was it so she can become the it girl of Hollywood? Was it to get clout and be accepted into the West? Or was it to escape the stereotypes and mannerisms K-pop idols must conduct themselves under and to tell the world she is free and an individual? Nobody knows her true intentions, but I'd like to think she wanted to be seen and treated as a sovereign individual, and playing this role might have felt liberating for her. This is since K-pop idols are expected to talk, act, and conduct themselves in a particular way. But personally, I always felt Jennie was an individual and didn't need to be in The Idol to prove that. But essentially, she's getting backlash in Korea since the dance she participated in and the lines she said were considered vulgar and the things I guess a K-pop idol would never do or say. For example, the line, "Is she a better F than me?" is not exactly the best way to describe yourself. Even if a guy said this, like a dude comes up and says, "Is he a better F than me? Is he better in bed than me?" would make the guy look like an F-boy and wouldn't even be seen in a positive light. I understand at the end of the day, Jennie's acting and she's playing a role. She's playing a character, and in terms of her acting, I think Jennie's doing an amazing job. But it's unfortunate South Korea has this stigma and this mindset and this judgment towards K-pop idols and has a lot of close-minded individuals that is unfamiliar with Western TV shows and would judge her very harshly for putting herself in that position. Now, objectively, Jennie did not show any nudity or partake in any sexually explicit scenes, rather had said some dialogue to suggest that she had a sexual relationship with Rat's Tail and participated in a dance that I guarantee you will never see another K-pop idol do nor perform to an actual audience. So when you compare to shows like Euphoria that has literally the same director in Sam Levinson, in which Euphoria is considered even more sexually explicit and the actors and actresses were praised for their performance, although Jennie's performance and role in the series can absolutely be criticized, I still think it's unfair and to use that to tarnish Blackpink as a whole. So comments such as, she has torn apart everything Blackpink has built with their own hands is completely unwarranted. If I'm going to be honest, it's definitely not a good look and doesn't exactly help her image, but I still think some of the pure hatred towards her is completely unnecessary. With that being said, episode 1 begins with Jocelyn, the pop star, at a photo shoot. Then Jocelyn finds out about the leaked photo but isn't really bothered and says it could be worse. Then goes to the club, meet Ratstail and has fun with him. Then invites him over to her place, and episode 1 ends with sexually explicit scenes with her being choked out with a piece of clothing on her face. Now episode 2 is Jocelyn making a new version of the song that was already made and plays it to her team, which is basically her just moaning 80% of the song, and Granny Nikki rejects it and tells her it's not happening since $1 million has already gone to the music video. Jocelyn then arrives 3 hours late to shoot the music video, but then struggles to perfect the choreography due to some previous injuries she has received, and is then reminded of her mother that passed away. She goes through a nervous breakdown, ultimately unable to successfully shoot the music video. Nikki then sees potential in Diane and wants to sign her, as Diane also has a connection to Ratstail. And again, Ratstail is invited over to Jocelyn's place, and for the rest of the episode is filled with sexually explicit scenes. And that's the story so far in the series. Objectively, what I did like about the show is that it was rare, but it did highlight the struggles of a female pop star, that she does not have the creative freedom to make the music she wants to make, rather have to follow what the label gives her. And that an idol's mental health isn't treated properly, and an idol is just purely used for money and profits, and once they serve no use, they are easily replaced with somebody else. Another message I did feel like the series gave off is to watch the people you surround yourself with. We become the product of the environment we surround ourselves with, and the influence of drugs that can be asserted into one's life due to the people you hang out with is very real. Jocelyn and her best friend / assistant gets fed with a lot of alcohol each time they encounter Ratstail, and the specific scene where her assistant does drugs for the first time speaks this message. Ratstail is slowly poisoning and ruining Jocelyn's life, so watch out and be careful with who you surround yourself with. I also thought the dialogue and repetition of "you're not human, you're a superstar" was actually very clever, as it suggests that when you're an idol, people don't see you as human anymore. And the main character Jocelyn actually does a very good job as an actress to portray this. And this could be a reach, but the controversial dance scene with Jennie could have also have a deeper meaning that idols don't decide the choreography. And with this choreography in particular made me think about how the music industry just often sexualizes idols and don't really care about them. Not to mention the song with the lyrics literally having "I'm just a freak," implying how the industry treats and sees their idols and artists like a freak. So although there were a few points that were positive that stood out to me in the show, I still dislike the unnecessary nudity and vulgarity that are displaced in the series 70% of the time. And at the same time, objectively, The Weeknd cannot act to save his life, and a lot of the lines he said were just pure cringe. If the series just solely focused on the struggles of being an idol from the start to finish with no unnecessary nudity and vulgarity, I think the show had a lot more potential to do better than it is currently rated, but overall the storyline is pretty poor and I definitely wouldn't recommend it to watch with your parents. So overall, these are my thoughts. Comment down below what you thought about the show, what you agree with, what you disagree with, what you liked, what you didn't like about the show. Let me know what you'd like me to review or commentate next. It's been your boy KC. Until next time, take care.